The comic book industry is fine. Everything is great. There's nothing to worry about. Money is raining down from the sky. It's the best it has ever been. Don't let anybody tell you differently. This is the kind of nonsense you're hearing from a lot of these shills out there who are trying to pander to everything and anything and let you know that, listen, there's nothing to worry about. The sales are fantastic. Look at how great it is, especially when they try to say that, it's the whole graphic novel thing, which really is just mainly manga at this point and nothing else. We don't even have comic book sales from sales data from like ICV and this kind of thing anymore. They don't put that out anymore. I'm guessing that these larger companies have told them to stop doing it, so we don't have it. But now, if even CBR, some of them have to make it know that it's not doing well, especially when you get things like this. AfterShock Comics files Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So they filed bankruptcy. And they're not the only one that's majority of them that's following suit. AfterShock Comics has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and has released a statement to CBR News about the filing. Let's get into this. AfterShock Comics, the independent comic book company that launched in 2015, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the District of Central California. The news follows recent reports that the company has been behind on paying a number of its creators. Yeah, as I said before in a previous video I did, these companies are not paying their creators, either one, because they figure that, you just have to shut up and take it because you don't want to get blacklisted. 2, they just don't business. And 3, they don't have the money. And now here we've got they've been behind on paying a number of their creators. But you see, they have to put out stuff to try and save face, but they don't have the money. Chapter 11 bankruptcy is what is known as a reorganization bankruptcy, which means that the company can continue to operate while it deals with the fact that it cannot currently pay all of its creditors. A number of famous companies have gone through Chapter 11 and emerged from it, with Marvel Comics being the most famous example in the world of comics. Yeah, other people don't remember this, but in the 1990s, Marvel Comics filed for bankruptcy. They were in some serious problems and they filed for bankruptcy. And then, we started to get a re-emergence of things. I think it was around when the first Blade movie came out that people started to get an interest once again in it and they really get back into it. And then after that, it started to go through the rise and stuff, had to work with Fox and all this kind of stuff. But now we have the MCU and all of that. But it really came out of that. But they did file for bankruptcy back then. However, plenty of companies have been unable to make it through bankruptcy as well. Comico, CrossGen, and Chaos as 3 comic book companies examples, just beginning with the letter C. So there has been others. AfterShock's filings reveal that the company has 10 to 50 million in assets, but it also has 10 to 50 million in debt. So them really have no money. The 2 biggest creditors listed in the filings were their UK distributor, AS Comics. A lot of money to all of these people, and I don't want to quote these numbers because these numbers sometimes are not accurate. They could be more or less, so the numbers are subject to change. But they owe the UK distributor and the Canadian printer a lot of money. However, there are a number of other companies and people listed in the filing. Exactly. So you see, this is why I don't want to just go off of the numbers here, because there are other people and companies listed in the filings and they could be subject to change. Rive Gauche Television, a sister company of AfterShock that had merged with the company in 2020 to form AfterShock Media, a way to better translate AfterShock comic book properties to television and film, also declared bankruptcy and filed Chapter 11. So they decided to, so they partner with a media company to try to bring their comic book adaptations to the small screen and then probably eventually the big screen. But You see, when the bottom falls out, everything falls out. So CBR reached out to AfterShock for a comment, and this is what the company supplied to the CBR News. After much deliberation, AfterShock Comics has voluntarily filed a petition for protection under Chapter 11 of the United States Bankruptcy Code to enable the company to restructure its senior secured facility, as well as being in a position to secure additional financing to continue to operate its business. The intent of this divisive action, known as decisive action, among other considerations, is to allow the company to maintain operations in the ordinary course, including, but not limited to, paying employees and continuing existing benefits programs, upholding and following through on commitments to contracted creators as well as vendors who supply goods and services related to marketing, merchandising, and advertising. AfterShock will continue to operate, publish, and market comic books and graphic novels to supply to direct market retailers and mass accounts through distributors in accordance with all federal, state, and local guidelines. We regret the inconvenience this has caused to those we work with and may cause in the near future. However, we believe that going forward, this will allow us to best position the company for long-term success. AfterShock Comics was founded by former Negative Burn editor Joe Purett and former Marvel and DC editor Mike Martz, along with Lee Kramer, John Kramer, and Michael Richter. It was John Kramer who signed the Chapter 11 filings. Martz had previously left AfterShock earlier this year to become the editor-in-chief at Mad Cave Comics. Martz was replaced by former DC editor Brian Cunningham. The company won the 2017 Diamond Comic Distributors Gem Award New Publisher of the Year. It has published comics by some of the biggest names in comics like Brian Azzarello, Marguerite Bennett, Garth Ennis, Colin Bunk, Mark Waid, and more. Recently, one of the company's writers, Christopher Can't Write Well, wrote a Twitter thread about the artist he was working with on a series he co-created not being paid by AfterShock. Late payments to the artist effectively killed/paused indeterminately on original 4-issue I co-created with AfterShock. Have had good faith convos with Brian, but with 2 issues done, no movement. If within a year you don't have art costs to finish 2 issues with your budget. Yeah. So, regardless of how much these social media others try to make it seem like, everything is fantastic, AfterShock Comics has filed for bankruptcy, and they're not the only comic book publisher that is in trouble right now. You can't pay your creators because you have no money. And you see, this is what happens in the industry when you stop producing things or making people interested in comics anymore. Because when you look at it from a substantial point of view, right? The big 2 in the industry right now is Marvel and DC, and they're putting out garbage. Total garbage. You may get 1 or 2 good issues here and there every time, but most of the others is just garbage. Marvel is focusing heavily on their MCU and destroying that. DC is literally one shovel full of dirt away from being completely buried. And they don't seem to stop. And when people know these big 2 and see them and say to themselves, well, they are not doing anything to make me interested. Why should I check out some of these other comic book companies? And it's a shame, because a lot of these other companies may have really good stories, really good comics there, but they're not getting the recognition that they deserve because the main 2 are spoiling it for everyone. When you look at manga, for instance, understand, I said it before, saying again, manga usually goes 2 ways, a hit or a miss. Sometimes stories are not for everybody. Sometimes stories are actually really good, but they go through good character development. They tell good stories. They don't try to beat you over the head with a message telling you that, you know, if you don't love this character because of their sexuality, you're some horrific bigot bastard who needs to rot in hell. No. They tell a story, you like it, you don't like it, that's it. A lot of these companies are going on now. AfterShock Comics is not going to be the first, it's not going to be the last to come out and file these things. It is bad. The industry is really bad right now. It's not getting any better unless serious changes are made. People's money are burning because, you know, creators can't be paid, and when they get sick and tired and leave, then what? We're going to have to switch to alternatives and get it done. And the only way to do these things is to get out of the kind of business practice that a lot of these companies follow that put them into these problems. Your creator is supposed to be your bread and butter. You have to pay them. You have to inspire them to keep doing things and to make good comics to bring in new readers. We didn't try to follow models from failed companies like Marvel and DC who only want to preach from their pulpits on Twitter and then just go and attack anybody who doesn't agree with them. It makes it bad for everybody else. So AfterShock Comics has filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It's not going to be the last, people. It's getting really bad out there. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.